Hey everybody, welcome back to another LEGO City update. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to start making some serious changes to the layout. So as of late, I've been adding skyscrapers to the layout, and some of the buildings in the skyscraper district are out of place just because they're not tall. They don't match the height, such as the bowling alley and also the downtown diner just around the corner, and there's several other things. Plus, I got to find a home for the hospital and the new and improved corner garage just because they're tall, and I'm not sure where these buildings are going to go. And to be honest with you, I'm just a little bit, I shouldn't say bored, but I'm going to say it anyway. A little bit bored with this layout. It's sort of like grid-like. All of the buildings sort of follow the same sort of street layout. Just long streets. It's pretty cool because you can look down the streets and you can see the buildings like this. But I want to try and come up with something different, and we're going to do that in this area of the LEGO City. So there's this block right here, right beside the amusement park, also Pop Culture Street, that has the Ghostbusters HQ, also the Sanctum Sanctorum and the Daily Bugle, and then this block right here with all of the skyscrapers, and maybe this block right here. The hospital used to be there, it's just on the desk right now. And also the Octan gas station most likely needs to find a new home as well. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, actually no, I don't think, I know the first thing that I'm going to do today is pretty much clear that whole section of the LEGO City. I'm talking like everything that we just talked about. So let's get started. In order to start this process, I needed to set up a triple table. So I've got 3 tables centered in my workspace here, and on the triple table you can see 2 buildings which need a home. We've got the Bricklink Designer Program construction site and also my hospital. Alright, so it's time to start moving some modular buildings. The Triple Boutique Hotel, Lego Store, Assembly Square, Peter Parker's apartment, the Disney Costume Shop, Sesame Street, and also the 2.5 base plate Dinos exhibition. With that, the first block is cleared. Then we move on to Pop Culture Street with the Ghostbusters HQ, the Sanctum Sanctorum, the massive Daily Bugle. Also, Diagon Alley, which is a total of 4 base plates with the custom facades on the backside, covering the open back of Diagon Alley. Then the Hogwarts Castle University, it's an alt build, and also the Sitcom Tower. That clears the next blocks. Then all of the different skyscrapers like the Imagination Station, the black and white one, the one that sort of looks like a Sanctum Sanctorum, the downtown diner, the Sig Fig complex, and the massive Avengers Tower. And with that, another block is cleared. You know what? I forgot how much I actually enjoy moving modular buildings. The mills just makes it such a pleasure. These things are so easy to extract from the LEGO City, and it's just so cool, like moving all of these base plates and all these different buildings and having like a clean surface to work from. Super excited about this project. And before I started filming this time lapse, I was thinking of different ways that we can configure all of these modular buildings and roads to come up with a pretty cool sort of new layout that's never really been done. Because they're on mills, it's so easy to do, so I may as well do it once in a while just because it's pretty fun and it's part of sort of governing a LEGO City. Man, there's just something about this that is so cool. Removing all of the modular buildings, exposing the white table. There's just so much space here for creativity, and I'm so excited to come up with a new layout. And check out my block of tables right here with all the modular buildings. It's actually crazy. Like when you remove them from the LEGO City layout and put them all up against each other, like it's just so dense. It's crazy. I should just have the LEGO City like this with no roads. There you go. Then we'd have limited space for buildings. This is actually so fun. And you know what? The 3 tables didn't cover it. I actually had to set up a 4th table, and that's way over there, right by the beach. And over here is the corner garage, the massive Avengers Tower, and just some other things that I removed from the LEGO City that will most likely get parted out. I'll also have the gas station, and then also the Sig Fig complex. So after I was done removing all of those buildings from the LEGO City, I sat here for about 30 minutes and just thought about it. And I was like, uh-oh, this is bad news, everybody. This is bad news. Something crazy is about to happen. Originally, I thought I was just going to rearrange these 4 blocks. And I thought I was going to do some horizontal lines. That's what I'm going to call them, because these I'm going to say are vertical. And I thought I was going to do some horizontal ones to try and change up the grid a bit. But now I'm looking at my layout in general, specifically the position of the residential buildings back there, and also the modular buildings up here. And I'm like, I think it all needs to change. So with that said, I've condensed this table and set up a fifth one. Goodbye, town hall, and also the fire brigade, police station, Heart Lake City School, little courtyard, detective's office, Grand Emporium, pet shop, townhouses, Palace Cinema, and the Jazz Club, Brick Bank. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm removing all of the modular buildings from my city. This is pretty crazy. I simply just cannot believe how quickly I can dismantle this city. It is actually insane. Like, what percentage of the city did I just take apart? Not really take apart, but just sort of remove. A pretty high percentage, like maybe 50%? No, 40? I don't know. It's irrelevant. Either way, like, a ton of buildings have been removed. It is actually crazy. But removing that stuff is the easy part. Putting it back in a new layout is the difficult part, because I've got to think about road positions like curves, straights, T-intersections, garage pull-ins, bicycle lanes. Like, that is the difficult part. Also putting traffic lights in, details in the right positions, and just coming up with the new layout. Like, the building positions are all going to change. So pretty much anywhere where you see exposed table is going to be changed. There's going to be new buildings in those positions. At this time, everything is trial and error. I'm just moving things around. And the first move that I decided to make was actually this one right here. The Simpsons house and the McAllister's house have been brought up right beside the diner and behind the beach. They actually used to be way over there beside the roller coaster. Now these buildings, they're pretty big, and I decided to build custom mills plates for them. Each mills plate is 2x2 base plates, so each building consumes 4 base plates. It's a lot of land, but I think it makes the yards look pretty cool, and they actually look pretty good together. That's why I decided to keep the Simpsons house and McAllister's house side by side, just in a new position. The next 2 builds that are going to be removed from the Lego City are the Bricklink Designer Program Venetian houses and also the Spring Lantern Festival. Honestly, I love these sets, but they're sort of out of place right here. They've never really made sense. I guess the Venetian houses sort of does, because there is a creek that flows down here, goes underneath this road plate and connects to the water of the Venetian houses. But still, they just don't really make sense to have here, like right across the street from the zoo, and also now right beside these houses. My camera sure doesn't like the white tabletop though, does it? Just sort of struggles with the exposure in the room. So the next buildings that I decided to move in place of the Venetian houses and the Spring Lantern Festival are my red roofed houses. Just sort of makes sense. What I'm trying to do is consolidate all of my residential buildings, because they used to be right here, sprawled along here, right there, over there, and right here. So they're sort of all over the place, and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I've decided to move the red roofed houses right there beside the Simpsons McAllister's house, and then I moved some of the other ones right here beside the Botanical Garden. So we have 4 Privet Drive, the old school like 3-in-1 townhouse, I believe it's called, and then on this side, the Apple Tree House, the Modern Family Home, and also Changing Seasons. And then in front of those houses, I decided to put the Quickie Mart. The Quickie Mart was sort of buried over there. I really like the mills plate that I built for it, and I wanted it to be visible. And I think it just sort of matches up nicely with the residential buildings, because it's the same sort of short height. Across the street is the haunted house, and the haunted house used to be back by that blue car right there. Now, one thing I need to think about is, what am I going to do with this raised train track? Because it really doesn't make sense sort of zipping through the residential area. I guess it used to go like behind the houses, but I'm not sure if it needs to go down this street anymore. So the raised train track might have to be rerouted. I don't think the ground line does though, because it actually goes right here on this road beside the haunted house. But I might have to reconfigure my raised train track. And there is a bunch of reconfiguring that has to happen. For example, all of the roads are now mismatched. I had specialized roads built for the Simpsons house and also the McAllister's house. It's right over there. Those need to be relocated in front of the proper houses. And so do all the roads. For example, the bicycle lanes probably aren't going to make sense where they are now, because what I've decided to do is consolidate all of the residential buildings together. So now all of the residential buildings are over here, and all of the modular buildings are going to go over here. Whereas before, the modular buildings started way over there and they stretched way down to this block here. And the residential buildings sort of stretched all the way along there. So now it sort of makes more sense that the modulars are with the modulars and the residential buildings or houses are with the houses. But now I need to take all of these modular buildings and all of these ones as well and start plotting them in the Lego city. But before I do that, I have to reconfigure the road and come up with a new layout. Luckily, I've done this a lot of times and I know exactly what I'm doing, so that's good. It shouldn't take me too long, but I'm not going to be able to get it done in this video because I've done enough today and I need to sleep on it. So make sure you stay tuned for another LEGO City update coming out in the near future where I reconfigure all of my modular buildings. Thank you so much for coming on by. I know it's a little bit of a hectic mess right now, but believe me, I think it's going to be a lot better and I am having fun with it, so that's all that really matters. Thank you so much. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and farewell.